Hey guys, this is Brad Lincoln, Education Agent for Pathway to Oz, with another one of Brad's Quick Bits. Okay, now this is a question we get asked quite a lot here at Pathway to Oz, and some people really struggle to get their head around the difference, but I'm going to try and explain this one to you today. And what we're going to be covering is what is the difference between a carpenter and a builder in Australia. So let's start with carpentry. A carpenter is a qualified tradesperson in Australia who holds a minimum of a Cert 3 certificate in carpentry, okay? Now, that could have been obtained through RPL, through doing an apprenticeship or undertaking study in Australia to do the Cert 3 in carpentry. But a carpenter is the person who is physically there on a job site, on the tools, okay? So you are building stuff, you are building stairs, you are doing framework, you're physically the hands-on person who is putting this stuff together and getting a job from off the ground to practical completion. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an understanding of what a carpenter is. Now for builder. Okay, so a builder is someone who has progressed from a tradesperson or progressed from someone who has spent a lot of time on site. It's a bit of a misconception that someone has to be a tradesperson to be a builder. It's not always the case. They may have done a lot of project management, they may have done a lot of time on site in different areas and then gain the experience they needed to then progress to a builder. But basically a builder's overall scope of works, okay, is they are the ones managing this site. So from start to finish, they're the ones who are quoting the job, they are the ones who are monitoring the job, making sure all the trades are on site, completing their work to the standard that is required, and getting that job or that project to what's called a practical completion and handover stage. So that's from handing it over from a building site to the client, okay? So that's what they're doing. And to be a builder, you have to have a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and that's how they go from, being your average tradesperson generally to someone more managing a site and running the project. So how do you become a builder? Okay, this is a really good question. And this can vary, so it's a bit tricky to give you an exact process because it can vary dramatically depending on the state that you want to operate your building company or operate as a builder. But I'll give you some of the most common requirements so you can sort of understand how this process would work. Okay, experience. As I mentioned before, experience is a huge factor. The requirement for experience to apply for your builder's license can range anywhere from 2 to 7 years, okay? So, quite a bit of experience is required and it will need to be proven. The qualification, okay? So, a builder must hold a minimum of a Cert 4 or diploma in building and construction. You'll need to have completed these certificates. Depending on the license category that you're going for, some might only require you to have the Cert 4, others may require you to have the diploma, but you will need to have them finished in order to apply for your builder's license. Industry references. Okay, so this is where it comes into being able to prove your experience. Okay, you're going to need to have stat declarations, so official stuff from other businesses, other tradespeople, people you've worked with in the construction sector over your time to provide you with references, okay, stating that your experience that you've mentioned that you have done. You've got to be able to back this stuff up. You can't just say, I've got 10 years experience and not show anything for it. So this is where the references come into it, and every state requires different amounts or from different bodies or people. So always check with your individual state on what's going to be required there. Okay, good character. Now this is an interesting one. So to be a licensed builder, you need to be of good character. You can't have been banned or disqualified from operating a job or in your trade, or being banned from running a business or be under any form of investigation. So, the reason for this is the building industry, there's a lot going on. There's a hell of a lot of money to be made in that sector. And, little mistakes or people cutting corners to try and save a buck or make some extra money on the side is going to have a detrimental effect to not only the industry, but people's safety. So this is why you've got to be of good character to be able to get your builder's license. Financial. This is another important one, okay? So when applying for your builder's license, they are going to look at you financially. Are you bankrupt? Have you got the finances to support a building company to maintain and operate a project? Okay, so this figure can range anywhere from tens of thousands of dollars right through to hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, depending on the category of license you're going for. Okay, so you are going to have a bit of a nest egg behind you before you can start looking at applying for a builder's license. Now, the forms and application. Okay, once you've got all the previously mentioned bits of criteria, plus there could be others depending on the state, you can then start the process. Now, the forms and that side of it are really pretty simple, and you just need to, you jump on the website of your individual state authority, download the forms, complete them, send them through with all your evidence, and it can take anywhere up to about 30 days to get your builder's license if you have everything needed and they don't have any questions. So to just give you an idea of the departments for the individual states, for New South Wales, it's the Department of Fair Trading. Victoria is the Victorian Building Authority. WA is the Western Australian Building Commission. South Australia is the South Australian Consumer and Business Service. Queensland is the Queensland Building and Construction Commission. Northern Territory is the Building Practitioners Board, and Tasmania is the Department of Justice. So they're the websites and the industry bodies you need to go see if you want to get licensed to be a builder. So as you can see, guys, there is a fair bit of a difference in Australia between a builder and a carpenter. And as always, if you are looking to get any more information on trade qualifications, building qualifications, or any other study programs in Australia, please remember you can always contact the team at Pathway to Oz via Facebook, the website, phone, or email. Thanks, guys.